Looky, looky, I got hooky. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time, of course, we're going to be taking a look at Hook. Directed by Stephen Spielberg, starring the late, great, legendary Robin Williams, the legendary Dustin Hoffman, Maggie Smith, and, of course, the amazing, the incredible, the late, great Bob Hoskins. Damn. Before I get started with this review, it's a damn shame that both Robin Williams and Bob Hoskins are no longer with us, because watching this movie again, they're great. I've loved Robin Williams since I first saw him play the genie in Aladdin and other movies. Like everyone else, I grew up a huge Robin Williams fan. Bob Hoskins I've always loved ever since I saw him in Roger Rabbit, where he was hysterical. And Dustin Hoffman, the name Dustin Hoffman speaks for himself. He's an incredible actor. So what happens when you take those three names and you put them in Hook and you put Steven Spielberg behind the helm? You get a fun as hell movie. Hook basically tells the story of what happens if Peter Pan were to leave Neverland, go into the real world, grow up, get married, have kids, and forget that he was once the legendary hero Peter Pan, because now he goes by the name Peter Banning. The movie is pretty much like a deconstruction of the Peter Pan character. It explores the scenario of what if Peter Pan grew up, and I like that psychological hook the movie hook, no pun intended, that the movie took. And I think Spielberg, for the most part, did a really, really good job with this thing. I've always said that Spielberg is one of those directors where everyone has a favorite movie. Where everyone has a movie, loves a movie that he directed. He's one of those directors that transcends everything. Like, everyone likes a movie that Spielberg has directed. And a lot of people I talk to, especially people that are some friends that are close to me, they always bring up Hook. And it's really hard not to see why they bring up Hook. Because, again, it's a very, very enjoyable movie. Like I mentioned, you have the Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, and Bob Hoskins factor, and those three guys are incredible in this movie. Robin Williams as Peter Banning, Peter Pan, he's funny, he's hilarious. He has a lot of great scenes. He has a lot of really fun scenes. I love the bantering between him and Hook when he goes to Neverland. I like how Peter Banning acts in the real world as a guy who is so obsessed with his work that he neglects his own family. I like the almost distant relationship he has with his son. I like the relationship he has with the older Wendy, played by the great Maggie Smith. I like the relationship with his wife. I think they play off really well off one another. For the most part, I like his scenes with Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, and I think Julia Roberts kind of gets a little too much, negativity as Tinkerbell. I don't think she was all that bad. I mean, yeah, given what Tinkerbell is in Peter Pan lore, how she can be nice but also a conniving biatch, and Julia Roberts plays her pretty much more like a girl next door, hey, how you doing type of thing. But they do make references to how Tinkerbell took poison for Peter and stuff like that. I don't know, and I don't know, Julia Roberts, I can see how Julia can come off as very flaky as Tinkerbell, but performance-wise, I think she did okay. And her and Williams do have some pretty good scenes with one another, for the most part. So yeah, that's all fine and good. Dustin Hoffman as Hook, he's great. You can tell that Dustin Hoffman is enjoying himself as Hook. I love the look of Hook. I love the design. I love the entire set of Neverland. I like how it I like how it looks fake. The set of Neverland, it looks fake. It looks imaginary. And I compare it to The Wizard of Oz. When Dorothy first goes to the Land of Oz, it doesn't look real. It looks like a set. It looks fake and imaginary. And I like how they use that aesthetic for Neverland, because it's supposed to look like a dream-like place, that it's not real. So I like that, visual tribute to The Wizard of Oz with this movie when it comes to Neverland. I thought that was really well done. A great choice by Steven Spielberg to do something like that. And Hook, you can say, kind of parallels almost like A Wizard of Oz, in certain aspects, going from the real world to this imaginary world, having a group of friends to take down this ultimate evil. In The Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch. In Hook, it's the titular character, Captain James Hook. Like I said, played expertly by Dustin Hoffman. Getting back to my point, I like the overall look of Hook. I love the design. I like the actual look of the hook itself, and I like the whole pirate aesthetic. You know, and Dustin Hoffman, you can tell he's camping it up, he's hamming it up, and he's having a ball with this movie. He's not taking it seriously, which is great, because this is not the movie that you want it that needs to be taken seriously. And he's just having a grand old time with this thing. And like I said, I love the chemistry between him and Robin Williams. They banter off really well off one another. They have a lot of funny lines in this movie. My favorite one being this: Hook goes into the real world, kidnaps Peter's kids. Peter has to go to Neverland to save his kids, and this is where he first meets Hook. He's climbing up the crow's nest to try and get his kids, and he's saying, "Can someone give me a hand?" And Hook with this sly remark saying, "I already have." Awesome zinger. This movie's got a lot of funny zingers. It's great. And before I even talk about it anymore, you got Smee, played by Bob Hoskins, and I love Bob Hoskins, like I said before, and I love his portrayal as Smee. He's hilarious. I love the chemistry between him and Hoffman, especially this one scene where Hook's like, "I'm going to kill myself, Smee, don't try to stop me, Smee," and then Smee stops him. It's hilarious stuff. Bob Hoskins, underrated talent. He was great, and he was great. Every movie I've seen Bob Hoskins is, even the Mario movie, he's always fun to watch. It's very hard to hate Bob Hoskins because he gives every character he plays, he gives it his all. Even if he feels like he's not giving it at all, it's Bob Hoskins, so he couldn't do a bad job if he tried. He was that talented of an actor. And in Hook as me, it's no different, because the chemistry he has with Dustin Hoffman is immeasurable. It's great stuff. I also like the Lost Boys in this movie, particularly Rufio. Rufio, the character Rufio, is really, really cool. I like him as the leader of the Lost Boys. I also like the antagonistic relationship he and Peter have at first, and I like how as the movie progresses, Rufio and Peter actually form a bond, with almost form like a bond. And when Hook kills Rufio, they have a tender scene where Rufio flat out says that he wishes he had a dad that was like Peter. So, and that was like a perfect culmination to the Rufio-Peter Pan relationship as well, which I thought was handled very, very well. Of course, this movie has that typical Spielberg whimsy to it, and it does not take away from it at all. I mean, it's great, because when you're doing a story like Peter Pan, you want a whimsical director to do it. And to me, Stephen Spielberg was the perfect choice, and it clearly shows. He directed this movie to perfection. And again, the movie is shot beautifully too, done by the legendary Dean Cundy, who did cinematography in this movie, and his shots look fucking beautiful. And of course, if you don't know who Dean Cundy is, shame on you. Dean Cundy was DP for the original Halloween movie, and a slew of other movies to come out. The Jurassic Park 1 and 2, and the Back to the Future trilogy. That was all shot by Dean Cundy as a DP. And of course, he brings his talent to Hook. And again, that Dean Cundy-Spielberg combination, it's an A-team, and put those two guys together, and you get a beautiful movie like Hook, man. The sets look great, the acting is great, I like it a lot. Like I said, the three main guys, Hoskins, Williams, and Hoffman, they steal the show every scene they're in. And again, this movie is chock full of moments I don't want to get all into, because I think you should watch it. But one of my favorite things is the baseball scene. I love the baseball scene. It's hilarious, especially where Robin Williams does this. Here's Hook say "My Jack," and Robin Williams gives this overly dramatic reaction where he's just like, "My Jack." It's funny shit. Like, when you watch it, it may not be funny, but I find it hilarious. It's good shit. I also love the brawl between the Pirates and the Lost Boys at the end of the movie, and I like a lot of the sword plays. Like, Rufio and Hook have a good little sword fight. Pan and Hook have a fun sword fight, and of course, it's Captain Hook. The crocodile comes into play at the end, which is great. I like how they incorporated that. So yeah. Now, this movie does have some issues with some plot holes, but there's this whole backstory that gets filled in, and it's a gaping huge plot hole because Peter Pan as he's telling the story, is him from the perspective of him being an infant child. And when he's telling you the story, you're just like, dude, you're a 2-month-old baby. You don't even know how to say goo goo gaga yet. How the hell could you have had this revelation? How you don't want to grow up and people die? You're a 2-year-old baby. You have no concept of any of this stuff. So yeah, that is a gaping, confusing plot hole. And I gotta take points from that, because that's just really bad writing, and that's just really bad consistency with an overall consistent movie up until this point. So yeah, that's really a distraction. I like the running joke with Toodles with the marbles. This movie has got a Phil Collins cameo, which is great, and it also has a George Lucas and Carrie Fisher cameo too, as they play the kissing couple as Tinkerbell takes Peter off to Neverland, which is funny, which is a nice little nod. All right, yeah, so I'm not going to say no more about this movie. If you have not seen Hook, you owe it to yourself to watch it. If you've not seen Hook in a long time, give it a rewatch, because why not? It's one of those movies that's always fun to revisit. And at the end of the day, I'm going to give Hook a solid 8 out of 10. It gets an 8 out of 10 because that plot hole is inexcusable. Come on, that's an easy fix. Come on. I mean, you get points just for not fixing something like that. That's just ridiculous. But aside from that, the rest of the movie is just so enjoyable and so much fun to watch. So 8 out of 10 for a underrated Spielberg classic that gets a lot of hatred from some people. But I think nowadays they're starting to come around to it, which is refreshing, because this is a damn good movie. Anyway, my name is AJ Legend. Like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you like professional wrestling, subscribe to my other channel, and in the comment section below, let me know what your favorite Steven Spielberg movie is. Anyway, my name is AJ Legend, once again, and take care.